Have you ever encountered an Agile coach who talks a lot, but in practice, they are clueless? You're not alone. This is quite common, and in this video, I'm gonna share 5 red flags that will help you spot fake coaches in your organization, dodgy coaches in your organization, and help you know when you found a great one. First off, I need to mention that all the red flags I'm gonna share in this video depend on the context. If you have one Agile coach in your organization doing a single one of these red flags, doesn't necessarily mean that this person is bad. No, but let's be honest. If you know someone who's doing 2 or more of these red flags, you have a bad coach. Before even talking about the first red flag, let's try to think about why. Why is this happening? Why is it so easy to fake Agile expertise? Well, it all starts with the role itself. What makes a good Agile coach? What kind of experience, skills, knowledge is required to be a good Agile coach? Well, it's not clear. It's not clearly defined. Honestly, no one knows. And in terms of career path, even worse. A developer becomes a senior developer, a tech lead, an architect, a manager. But what about an Agile coach? An Agile coach starts as a what and goes to a what. There's no clear career path. Your HR department is clueless in terms of how to hire an Agile coach. And anyone can call themselves Agile coach. There's no protected trademark on this job title. Anyone can just call themselves starting today an Agile coach. Just look at me. Red flag. Number 1, hiding behind self-learning. A coach can fake the lack of knowledge, experience, expertise by hiding behind stimulating self-learning. You ask the coach a question, they'll just say, "What do you think?" Try it yourself. What do you think? Okay, you think that this will work? Just try it and let me know. Stimulating self-learning, which is extremely useful in an Agile environment. People should be continuously learning. They should have this growth mindset. But if you don't know the answer, like the skills, like the knowledge, like the experience to answer this question, it's unethical to tell them, okay, what do you think? Just tell them that you don't know. That should be the right approach. Don't hide behind this. I can think of a lot of stories about poor Agile coaches from experience, what I saw, and from the feedback I got from other people. And one of these stories I like sharing. 5 years ago, a large company, 50 Scrum teams, was having a lot of issues scaling Scrum, scaling Agile. So they hired an expensive Agile coach. Yeah, quite known in the industry. Very expensive Agile coach. Flew this person in for a meeting, 3 hours meeting, and started asking a few questions in terms of scaling Scrum. They wanted answers, clear answers on how to do it based on their context. And 1 hour in, after a lot of vague answers, no clear instructions, one of the managers started asking, "Do you know the answer to this question? Can you help us?" "Oh, no." And the Agile coach said, No, I can't help you." Even though he said prior that they could help. They knew the context. They knew the context when they flew in. They had all the information when they flew in. And now in the meeting, they said that they couldn't help. 5 years down the line, managers of this company are still thinking of this Agile coach and refuse now to implement Agile Scrum because it's a scam, simply because they were scammed by this person. Red flag number 2, your Agile coach is obsessed with buzzwords, Scrum terms, Agile terms. Each and every single phrase, there's an Agile term in it. They think that sounding smart, Agile related, Scrum related, will cover for their lack of experience. When reading a resume, I'm assuming here that the person will be honest. All the experience written in the resume is true, but there's a trend now. A lot of coaches, tons of experience, but they never worked in an actual team as a Scrum Master or even an Agile coach doing an Agile implementation in a company, but they include that in their resume and they try to fake it by sounding smart. But come on. We all see through it. It's very easy to spot when someone lacks experience. I had a conversation with an Agile coach recently. In their resume, tons of experience, Agile implementation, Agile transformation in many companies across the world. Their resume also packed with certifications. But when talking with them, I felt that something was off. They were asking basic questions in terms of backlog, prioritization, work in progress limit, a Kanban board. So basic. I already knew that this person was faking the experience. And the worst part is that this person is in charge of Agile implementations, Agile transformations. Some companies will hire this person. People who have no idea what Agile is will hire this kind of person to implement Agile in their company. Just imagine what would happen. And they will be clueless, the company, because they will believe that this person has a lot of experience and they know what they're talking about. And there's a high chance that this Agile implementation will fail. Red flag number 4, someone who focuses too much on the technique. As per the book, they want to do it as per the book without understanding the context or what will work for this particular scenario. Let's take a simple example. During a retro, facilitated by an Agile coach, the team agrees that they need to write better acceptance criteria. They need to write more acceptance criteria. They need to follow a proper format. And the coach comes and wants to use the 5 whys. Finding the root cause of the issue. Why do you think you need to write better acceptance criteria? That's a good technique to find assumptions. Maybe the team is assuming that there's an issue and that's a solution to this issue. But maybe this issue is not the real issue. There's something else. So asking why is always good. Why do you need to write better acceptance criteria? Because when the development is done, we realize sometimes that it's not as expected. But why is it not as expected? Because it's missing acceptance criteria. If the acceptance criteria was communicated prior, the developers will have a better idea on what was needed in the user story. But why do you need to communicate the acceptance criteria prior? So that the developers know what they need to do in the user story. But why do the developers know that? Oh, come on. We already know the issue. The issue is that the developers lack information. They don't understand the user story. And when the development is done, we can't test it. We can't accept the user story because there's lacking acceptance criteria. Everyone already knows, agrees that we need to write these acceptance criteria. You don't need to ask 5 whys here. That's a simple example. But the core issue is as per the book. Someone told them that you always need to be asking why in the sprint retrospective. So no matter what happens, they will be asking the 5 whys, which is very revealing in terms of knowing if this person is experienced or not. Red flag number 5, the soft skill, the coach, conflict management, mediation, facilitation, coaching, extremely important skills for an Agile coach. But that's not enough. I know a company, a lot of struggling with their Scrum teams, lacking an Agile coach, so they hired an Agile coach, very experienced in terms of conflict management, Agile coaching, teaching, but this person was never a developer. This person never worked in the development environment. They weren't aware of how software development works. They couldn't answer the questions, basic questions of the team, but they were very good at conflict management, bringing this positive attitude, ensuring that the team goes to lunch together, plays games together. But what about backlog prioritization? What about focusing on value, setting up a Kanban board, working progress limit, ensuring that the process is effective and efficient? Lacking experience, lacking knowledge. And I don't feel that these types of coaches, like life coaches, are a good fit for this software development world. Red flag number 6, the Agile coach that doesn't understand teamwork. The Agile coach, very experienced, a lot of knowledge, but sits at their desk or in their office all day long without walking around, just sending emails all day long, sending emails, joining calls, sending emails all day long. An Agile coach is here to support teams, support people, the organization, here to serve. And you can't serve while sitting at the office, at your desk, without talking with anyone. It doesn't work like that. It's a people job. You should be interacting with people. And someone who doesn't want to interact with people is sometimes a sign of lack of knowledge, experience, or shyness. There's nothing wrong with being shy. But if you are an Agile coach and you're afraid of talking with people, you're uncomfortable talking with people, and you're not improving that, are you really a good Agile coach? How can you preach continuous improvement if you're not even working on improving yourself? Which brings me to my next point. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.